go watch that Gonzaga game tonight.
Oh, that should be a good game. They sure finished the last one great, didn't they?
Man,
Yeah.
that was a fun
But-
game to watch.
Yeah, I haven't sat down to watch any
Are we
kind of
ready?
sporting event.
I think so.
Since I had a
I was
football.
just looking for glasses.
I haven't watched much, but then when March Madness came on, I watched a few games.
Looks good.
Michelle's everything okay? We can start?
I think so.
Okay. Everybody can rise and flag salute. Remove your hats if you got any. Ron, would you lead us, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Ron. Entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda, please.
I make a motion that we accept the consent agenda.
I'll second it.
It's been moved in second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, Chief, department reports, you're up.
Council, Mayor, good to see you. For the most part, operations are normal. Update on the car. Get noticed last week that it was the in transit. Shipped, that's what it was. It was shipped, so hopefully the ship doesn't sink wherever that is. And
The Suez Canal.
we're good, we're good. So just kind of hurry up and waiting for that. So when I get here, hopefully it won't take long to get everything put in it and back on the road or on the road. Other than that, operations are normal.
Okay, is there any questions for the chief? Emily?
I wanted to know about the abandoned, like, what's the policy for the city of Toledo for abandoned vehicles within downtown? There was the car that was there, and I wasn't asked about it, but I don't think we need to have that sitting down there for 4 days, or 4 nights, 5 days.
Oh, okay, you're talking about the boat.
The
one.
black car that was
Yeah.
there and it started to lose tires, and like, I let it go for a couple of days, then I post something on Facebook, which I then deleted after several hours. But, yeah, I just wanted to know, I didn't know what our city's policy was. I did look at the code book and it did say 72 hours, I think, but I'm not sure.
It's actually has to be posted by a sign on hours that it can be parked there.
And that was one thing I did not see.
Yeah, so it's very difficult for us to say impounded or doing like that without
Mhm,
something saying the duration in which it can be there.
mhm.
If it's a valid vehicle to be on the road, it's really hard for us to do anything without some kind of say as to how long it can be there. So that's
Okay.
the reason it wasn't.
Does that need to
impounded.
be addressed with the city ordinance or something like
I
that?
think the story goes that that place used to have a sign there, and some years ago, a gentleman decided that he was gonna use it for scrap metal and ended up stealing the sign or something, and the way he got rusticated, but we never did replace the sign, so.
Okay.
So that's kind of our bad as not putting the sign up, but
So there are
Dude.
established hours then?
they're supposed to be, but there's no sign, so we couldn't enforce that.
Right.
So that's kind of the city's deal.
And then the other, my other question was, parking on sidewalks within a block of the school, perhaps 2 blocks of the school. There's an elderly couple that does live near me, around that way.
Washington Street?
Yeah, is it Washington? No, it's south of Washington, or, a Pine, it's on Pine. I think they live in a 2-story, but I'm not sure. Anyway, they're an older couple and they have walkers. And there are renters that come and park all over this, like, they're obnoxious and they're parking on the sidewalk, all up and down it. I have heckled them with no remorse.
So is it
Um,
the street just south of you?
It's the street just south of me, yeah. And I was wondering, is there something that, you know, or is that a city
If
question
they're on
maybe?
the sidewalk, they can't park on the sidewalk.
Yeah, I figured as much,
So if that
yeah.
happens, just call.
Okay,
Call
all right.
911 or even non-emergency line.
Okay.
dispatch to order.
I mean, I see these guys like in their walkers, and like literally this guy yesterday was in the middle of Pine Street, like walking in his walker. And that's unacceptable to me.
So Emily, I have a question. So is it actually on the sidewalk?
On the
Okay,
sidewalk.
this is my question. On the sidewalk, or is it a driveway entrance and they're over the side, if there was a
No.
sidewalk through there? Because I know that
There's
another
both.
officer looked and he said that he spotted the ones that were in their driveway, which the sidewalk would have traversed.
that-
Yes.
Driveway,
Yeah,
yes.
okay.
No, they, you know, I think perhaps they had a shindig or something, I don't know, but they parked all over the sidewalk and I was a bit annoyed. And
Yeah,
so
yeah, just
I just
call.
wanted to know, and for my own clarity, because I didn't know what the whole,
No, that's
you
a
know,
good question.
so-
Just call, we'll come take care of
okay, all right.
No problem.
And perhaps the city can gain revenue from that, you know,
it. Or
tickets,
compliance.
tickets, parking tickets. You're on the sidewalk, get a ticket.
Yeah, it's not really a moneymaker, but I mean, I'm more looking at compliance than anything.
Uh,
But
Yeah.
yeah. just
Or a
call.
mailer,
Just
or a
call.
mailer,
If
one
it's
of
an
the two,
issue,
you know.
just call.
Yeah,
Best thing to
okay,
do.
all right, those, thank you very much, I
You're very
appreciate that.
Easy questions.
Okay, awesome. Oh, one more,
ahead.
I'm sorry. Randy did mention the man without a home that was wandering around downtown, did we find him?
The man without a home.
Yes, the homeless fellow who was under the bridge for several days over the weekend. And then I think Friday, yeah, I talked to Randy and he
Yeah,
had,
Randy said
mentioned
something about
him,
that this
so-
morning. He was not able to locate anybody.
Okay.
He's pretty. Johnny on the
yeah,
spot,
he's
checking
pretty
underneath that
wily, yes,
bridge.
definitely. Mhm.
But, yeah, we didn't find anybody.
Okay,
But
all right.
Doesn't mean there wasn't somebody.
Exactly,
Yeah, we usually try to help those people who belong to it.
yes,
Find a place for them. So,
absolutely.
yeah, something like that, just call again, 911.
Okay.
You see something like that out.
And that's the thing for me is like, would you rather have us call 911 or the non-emergency number?
If it's the non-emergency dispatch number, it goes to the same person, so it doesn't matter.
Okay,
Whatever makes you feel better. Because the same person's answering the phone.
right,
So if you feel bad about dialing 911, which a lot of people do for some reason,
right, well,
you just
yeah,
dial it at the 740-1105 number, it goes to the same person.
okay,
But call that number rather than call our office, because we're not very often in the office.
yeah.
So call that
Okay.
number, then whoever's on duty or on call can take care of it.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any other questions? And I know Emily and I talked on Friday night, Chief, and she was concerned about officers on duty.
Well,
know
I
you
didn't see
guys-
any police
I know you
presence
guys,
in town.
let me talk, please.
So I'm
I
sorry.
know you guys work different shifts and there's only a few of you guys working. I know that you don't put the shifts out there because the crooks will find out and they'll have more robberies. So could you explain to Emily what our police task does on the weekend, please?
On the weekend, usually it's, Sam and Randy. Randy likes to come out on the weekend, so he's kind of the wild card. So he fills in all the holes that we usually have on the weekend. Because there's only really technically one full-time guy, which is Sam on the weekend. So he has to cover the 10 hours during that time. The rest of it's on call. Whether I kind of leave it up to him as to whether he wants to come out and do those hours to kind of keep people guessing and whatnot. So, but him and then Randy usually coordinate as to when he's going to be out or Sam's going to be out or whatever. So that's kind of how we deal. We were responsible for 24 hours a day, and 10 hours of that day were in the car, 14 of them were on call. That's kind of how it works.
Thank you, Chief. Any other questions for the chief? Thanks again, Chief. Appreciate it. Okay, can we get through to Mike at all?
Mike, do you have your volume on?
Yeah, I do.
I
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Mike?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No, Mike, we can't hear you.
Okay, I'm not sure why. You should be able to. Can you hear me now?
Okay, Mike, try now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Should be on.
Mike, we
Can you hear me
you.
now?
Yes.
Yes, Mike, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Give him a thumbs up, guys.
Now can you hear me? You can hear me?
Thumbs up.
Okay.
The Roman Forum, I don't know.
Okay, well, I guess with the weather coming on and everything, we started getting our yard work done. Mowing, we did some more spraying. Unfortunately, John's been ill for the last little over a week. So we've kind of slowed down, just kind of taking care of business around the plant as good as we can and getting as much of that yard work done as we can. We got this stump removed from the park, from the big tree. We actually had a machine that we rented and that took care of the tree. While we had the machine, we did some more work over with the RV spots. They're still not quite done yet, but we got a good start on those. So here in the next week or so, we should be able to finish those up, I hope. Basically, that's about it. We've just been trying to stay afloat while John's been ill. I didn't feel I should come to the meeting in person tonight just for that reason. So that's why I Zoomed.
Okay,
Does council have any questions for Mike?
I don't think he can hear us. Can you hear
Ron?
us?
Ron, go ahead. We'll see.
The one question I have is whether or not you purchased a snow blower.
I can't hear.
Can't hear. So no, it has not been purchased yet. I can answer that.
any other questions on the council?
Has he found a bucket for the backhoe yet?
No, he has not found a bucket for the backhoe yet.
The only question I would
I
have is
still
the
can't hear
stump.
Ron.
The only question I have is the stump that was removed. Is that a
Can you guys
brand
hear
new
me still?
stump of a tree that just went over, or is that one of
Okay.
the old stumps that have been in there?
That was the tree that blew over in the last windstorm, and so we had to have it removed.
A big
Yes.
tree. It's gone.
Yeah, I just didn't want the old stumps that everybody plays in.
We got it out there. That machine just picked it up.
But it was a tree. It wasn't like those stumps and stuff that all the kids play.
No,
they cut up
no,
the
it
tree
was a
for
fresh
firewood.
tree.
That's fine.
And then they had to remove the stump.
I just.
Can you
always
hear us
hate when the
now?
old stumps
No,
are-
it
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
one of
fine.
those ones, no. But however, my kid was playing all over it. so.
Okay, any other questions for Mike? No, tell him, Good, thank you. I guess we can hear you, Michelle. And you're,
I have nothing.
you have nothing? Okay,
I have
Got a question.
I am full questions tonight. I was wanting to know, where are we, with the city's website? And do we have, anyone helping out with that or anything like that? I was just looking at it the other day and I was like, ooh, it's a little ancient.
So Sam's been updating it as he goes along. So Sam's doing it and then Cindy Samco may be helping out with it too.
I know that we had a budget for it for this year. And so I was hoping that maybe we could, streamline it, update it, all that stuff. So that was,
Have you
My only
updated
question-
your computer? Because Sam has done a lot of work on it.
I just looked at it day before yesterday.
So
and
if you don't like
looked.
refresh your computer though, you're getting old stuff and not new stuff. That's what I'm saying. Have you refreshed your computer?
Well,
your
my
web
daughter's
browser?
crashed my computer for 5 times the last week, so.
Okay.
Yeah, probably. It just seems like there could be, I'm curious and I just wanted to know what the update was, so. Okay. I mean, we have a budget for that, right? Are there, I mean, with COVID and, we're in an area that's growing in ways I haven't seen before. And so I'm just curious to know the amount of traffic that's coming through town. People are wanting to know what they can do through here and I'll take a look at it again. Thank you.
any other,
Sorry. We keep trying to figure out what's going on.
Or Mike.
okay, right now, there's no public here for public comment on agenda items. So we're moving into new business, the proclamation, Councilmember Carol Hill. I would like us to take a moment of silence for her on her behalf. Out of all the years she's been here on the board, please. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate that a lot. Okay, Michelle, I'm going to read this proclamation. Proclamation on the death of City Council Member Carol Hill, deceased March 24th, 2021. Whereas we had in our midst a woman great of heart and wide of vision. And whereas wise and willing leaders are necessary in every community. And whereas political leaders should reflect the needs of their constituents. And whereas we, the city of Toledo, value the 17 years of service and good advice of our council member Carol Hill. And whereas Councilor Carol Hill demonstrated great characteristics in her life and her work. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Toledo City Council of Toledo, Washington, expresses its deepest sympathy to her family, that this council expresses its loss of valued colleagues. And finally, this council reaffirms its commitment to strive for the needs of their constituents, an issue that Carol Hill had a great passion for. Presented the 5th day of April in the year 2021 by the city of Toledo mayor and the city council. And I'm going to pass this on for everybody to sign.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any other discussion on it? Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
So the Chronicle did a really nice article on Carol, and I know that the town crier will be doing an article too. When researching some of the information on Carol, it was kind of really neat to see. She is the longest standing woman council member we've had at the 17 years and 3 months. So that was pretty exciting. We did have another councilman, Ray Bowen, that was on council longer, but in 2 different terms. And so, and if you add the 2 terms together, he had 17 years and 9 months. So both of them, you know, really close. And prior to Carol being on council, she was on our planning commission for 5 years. So she has over 22 years of service to the city and just a wealth of knowledge and information. So she's going to be truly missed by so many, you know.
And even though she did not say a whole lot, every time she said something, it was very heartfelt. That's the thing I always appreciate. Always, you can always say this is important to her. You know?
If there's anybody that has Toledo blood, it would be her, because she felt it. Way down deep.
A lot of people do not realize, but our family, we have generations here and we have great great grandparents buried in this cemetery. So our roots do go very deep in Toledo.
And as most of you know, you saw the emails that the mayor is trying to get together funds for a scholarship in her name. So Sheila Richardson will be picking that money up any day now. So if you do want to contribute anything else to it, just see Devin or I after the meeting.
That information will also be included in her obituary, which won't come out until closer to her memorial, which will be on May 22nd in the city park at 1 o'clock.
I also made the honor of presenting that for passing to the other city mayors last Friday. And a lot of them knew her too. She was a well-rounded person. She kept asking me to quit. I said, as long as I'm mayor, you're not going to quit. So I put my foot down now. And so I need your expertise, your advice, and anything else I could ask for, because I knew she'd have an answer. Is that everything, Michelle? Okay. I don't see any unfinished business, other business, COVID-19 updates. We have any updates?
We have no updates.
Okay.
The county has been so good about getting information out to everybody. So if you have not been vaccinated, want to be vaccinated, there's so much information out there. If you need help with, you know, anything, the information's out there. The city right now is, you know, I've shown you, is going to be getting an additional $160,000 that can be spent in certain ways. Not all at once. It's the first money will be coming, and then a year after that, the second amount of money will be coming. I don't know if it's a 50-50 or how they plan on doing it. None of that has been said yet. So we're still waiting on that. And then it does have different criteria, which it has to be spent by the December of 2024. So we have a ways to spend this money, and just waiting on more information on that. There's a significant amount of money that's coming to Lewis County on their own. I think it's like $18 million.
Yeah.
And so we've had conversations with Commissioner Stamper on, you know, some ideas of how they should spend their money. They're looking at possibly funneling a lot of it through the EDC and having a group of people actually kind of almost like a granting committee that would, requests would come in, or they would decide, how this money should be dispersed, what programs it should go to, and those type of things. So that's what they're talking about doing. And so, they know that we're very interested. So hopefully when they are looking at doing this group of people, that they will ask us to be on this board, or however they want to do it too. So the mayor and I had a really good meeting with Commissioner Stamper, and also Richard DeBolt, who is the executive director now of EDC. So.
Thank you, Michelle. I don't have any others, no more public input. I'll accept the motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
So here a second.
Second.
So moved in second to adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. Meeting adjourned. Thank everybody for coming.